Welcome back, it's me, G-Eazy's Double, and today we're going to be looking at Bottega Veneta. The goal of the Who Is series is to try give you a look or an insight into a brand deeper but still enjoyable, and it's more palatable than just reading a boring article about them. I'll preface by saying I actually hate Bottega Veneta currently. Before dwelling into this deeper, I didn't really have a good understanding of Bottega Veneta whatsoever, and I decided I'd do this so that I can get a better understanding of the brand, and by getting a better understanding of the brand, maybe I would form a level of appreciation for the brand, and that's where we currently are. So sit back, relax, grab yourself a coffee or water. Usually I'm drinking a coffee, but today we got some water, and let's get right into it. Coming to life through the eyes of Michel Teddy and Renzo Zengario, powerful names, Bottega Veneta was born in 1966 in little old humble Italia. Upon release, the brand developed a weave-like pattern called intralcio. I hope I'm saying these names right, by the way. This is becoming an iconic piece for Bottega Veneta, and I'm sure you've seen many of these flax-style weaved bags all around. Bottega Veneta also made one of the hardest slogans ever made, which is "when your initials are enough." Pretty much saying that they don't need loud branding or their brand on something for it to be cool. I don't know why, but to me that just seems like one of the coolest things possible. It's like screams discreet wealth. I love that. 6 years after launch in 1972, Bottega Veneta saw their first store pop up in New York, and in the mid-70s they started making shoes. In the late 1970s, the OGs of the company decided, okay, we've had enough, they're leaving, and they ended up passing it on to Michelle's ex-wife and the husband at the time. She and her husband decided to move to New York and jet set to get the brand really up and running and blast it forward. In 1985, we saw Andy Warhol make a film around Bottega Veneta, again boosting its popularity. 1990 saw the launch of Bottega Veneta's ready-to-wear collection. In 2001, Bottega Veneta was acquired under Kering's, which, along with LVMH, if you weren't aware, the two largest fashion conglomerates pretty much scoop up any rising brand and just soak it in. 2001 was also an iconic year for Bottega Veneta as they launched a collection that could be described as stealth wealth. In my personal opinion, this is my favorite form of fashion, which is just discreet wealth. It's very opposite to what's currently trending. It feels as everyone wants loud, monogrammy, look at me, I'm rich kind of outfits, and this I actually really like. 2001, very discreet wealth, stealth wealth. I don't feel like I need to describe what stealth wealth means, it's kind of in the name. Ironically, I know I just said it doesn't seem like it's coming back, but trend forecasters do predict that stealth wealth as a trend is getting back into fashion. However, like I said, as we see kids and other people buying very, very loud and obnoxious branding, I feel like consumers haven't quite moved away from "I'm rich," especially in our social media driven age. Fast forward to a more modern time, and in 2018 we saw Bottega Veneta acquire Mr. Daniel Lee. Daniel Lee studied in Central St. Martin's, which is actually one of the, I think it's a top rated fashion school in the world, and he also worked with, upon his arrival he released the pouch handbag. Now, I didn't really have an understanding of why this did well, because it's pretty much just a rucksack with a string attached to it, like one of those swimming bags where you put your wet towel and wet gear in. But after speaking to my girlfriend, she clarified that it was at the time Phoebe Celine had departed from the fashion scene, and this was one of her designs. Don't quote me on that. But that's why the world fell in love with it, and this would become the best-selling handbag for Bottega Veneta in history. I know I say I don't like their bags, but I'm not exactly their target audience. By the end of 2019, sales at Gucci started to deflate, and for Kering's, Bottega Veneta would become their new rising star. In 2021, Bottega Veneta again broke the fashion internet web as they closed down all their social media accounts, which in my opinion is one of the best PR stunts you can possibly perform. It draws so much attention, and it's made a massive emergence of huge fan accounts for Bottega Veneta and also for Daniel Lee, which is kind of, you know, two birds, one stone. Along with this, I also feel like if there's a PR mishap, they can't have that happen because they're not on social media. Bottega Veneta in 2021 is still one of the most appreciated and loved brands. For me, my opinion after researching hasn't really shifted on Bottega Veneta. I always felt it was a brand without a strong brand history, brand values. I do think they have the most iconic slogan in fashion. To me, it's just so cool. It's just so boastful without being boastful. and I guess that's what they're going for. But aside from that, Bottega Veneta still to me is not a brand I would personally wear. Although they have ready to wear, they have incredible collections, I don't really see people wearing their collections. I just see their gumboot silicone shoes, which look disgusting, oversized, as the main thing that consumers wear. I do see their handbags, however, again, it's very obvious to your average, fashion consumer that it is Bottega Veneta. It kind of defeats the purpose of it not being branded. Bottega Veneta does have a bright future, like I mentioned, and it will continue to do very, very well, I believe. But for me, it's still a no-go. I would rate Bottega Veneta a 7 out of 10, a 6 out of 10 probably, actually. You know who I should cover next. And as always, have a great day. I love you. Peace.